Today's topic is called Let It Splat. Just bear with me. I was thinking about what's some really classic good advice that people give all the time. It's things like just hold on, don't give up, keep going. It's going to get better. It'll all be worth it in the end. This is really common, classic, good advice. I'm sure you've heard this advice, some combination of all these things together, and it usually rings true. It's great advice, and I'm sure it's helped a lot of people get through some really challenging times. But like usual, I was thinking about opportunities or situations where this is not applicable, where this would be considered very bad advice. This would be the opposite of what you'd want somebody to do, not to hold on, don't keep going. So what is the opposite of all those things? It would be things like let go, give up, stop doing that. This will get worse. You're going to wish you hadn't done this. These sort of sound like things that haters would say, naysayers, people that are trying to hold you back. But in some situations, this is actually really good advice. This could be your very best friend that is looking out for you, telling you those things. So what is one phrase that we could sum up all of those things if we had to just say it in one phrase, maybe three letters? Well, not letters, but three words. I think it beautifully is summed up in the phrase, let it splat. Letting it splat is essentially letting go, releasing yourself of that thing. Don't keep doing it anymore. Let it splat. So today, let's look at some opportunities or maybe some situations, circumstances, whatever you want to call it, where let it splat is great advice, where you don't want to just hold on. Don't keep going. Don't push through to the end. It's not going to get better. Let it splat. So the first situation I thought of is if you're holding a live grenade, let it splat. That will explode in your hand. Don't just keep going. It will not get better. It's not going to be worth it in the end. Let it splat. That one's pretty self-explanatory, and I don't think it's controversial. I think we all would agree we don't want to be there when the grenade explodes within our hand. We would like to be somewhere else. And if you're going to let the grenade splat, preferably you want to let it splat over a pit or a valley or a canyon or something where there's not something valuable, a human life, whatever else, maybe your personal property is not down there. You could let it splat into a trash can, but that's probably still going to blow you up. I don't know. Use that one carefully. Still applies. Good advice. Holding on to a bad relationship. Let it splat. And this is a tough one. A lot of people don't even know that they're in a bad relationship. They don't even know that they're holding on to a bad relationship. And a lot of us who are friends and looking out for other friends know, we all can think of that person, that guy, that girl, where you're like, they need to let that splat. Why are they holding on to that relationship? They keep going back to that toxic person. Sometimes they're your best friend and you don't even know if they're together or not together, and you're like, do I bring it up? I don't know. Let it splat. A perfect example of a bad relationship that you should let it splat is if your girlfriend is a kleptomaniac, addicted to stealing things from Claire's. Let it splat. That's not going to get better. You might even be affiliated with one of her crimes in the future. Consider that. Trying to take a nap, but you're thinking about exciting stuff. Let it splat. You're not going to fall asleep. That nap's not going to happen. Your mind's just going to keep racing. You're going to think about playing with Legos later. Or you're super excited to call this person and tell them that they're a fraud. That's a crazy situation, but I don't think I'd be able to nap if I was thinking about how I had to do that right after my nap. No way that nap's happening. Let it splat. Watching a show and waiting for it to get good. Oh man, am I passionate about this one. Everybody should be able to relate to this. Let it splat. There are some exceptions. Yes, sometimes a show does get good, but more often than not, we waste so much time watching episode after episode, season after season, because people are like, it's going to get so good at season 4. Who cares if season 4 is so good? Is season 4 actually that good, or is season 1, 2, and 3 just so bad that it lowered your standards to rock bottom, and then when you finally get some mid-tier, middle of the road, decent television that you can actually sit through and not fall asleep, you're not on your phone while you're watching it, then you're like, season 4 is good. It's not good. Your tastes have been ruined by that point. You've been subverted. I'm passionate about that because we're always getting TV show recommendations and they're like, you just have to get through the first 2 seasons. Who has time? That's hours. That could be 60 episodes. I feel strongly about this one, and I feel like this advice is going to help somebody. Staying at a job that you hate, let it splat. It's not worth it. The quality of life, the sacrifices, this could be taking a physical toll on your body. You're going to this job. Your boss is telling you that you are their slave and that you suck. I mean, if your boss doesn't even have to say those things and you can hate the job. That's how powerful a bad job can be. Your boss could be great and the job is so bad. You know what I mean? Let it splat. There's a lot of crazy ways to make money out there, you know? And inflation's going up. But faster than inflation is the number of ways that people make a lot of money that makes you mad when you find out that's how they made their money. Like, oh, you made 200 grand being a bubblegum farmer? Crazy. That stuff happens though. Trying to get a word in a conversation, but people keep talking over you. Ooh, this one really makes me mad. Let it splat. Don't compete for other people's attention. Just don't even be part of that conversation. Walk away. You could even announce that you don't want to be there anymore. I don't want to be part of this conversation anymore. They'll listen to that. Let it splat. Holding a plate that's too hot. Looks like all I said was depends, and I didn't elaborate. I stand by that. It depends. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Gambling addiction. Let it splat. You're addicted. It will not get better. Yeah, with gambling, do not just hold on. Don't keep going. It's not going to be worth it in the end. I think every gambling addicted person probably tells himself that. Oh, when I win $1 billion million, it's going to be worth it. You're not going to win $1 billion million. That's a made up number, a made up quantity. You're addicted to gambling. Let it splat. Gambling, but not addicted. Let it splat. You're probably addicted. I stand by this. Most people who are addicted to gambling, and probably just addicts in general, don't know when they cross the line from somebody who is almost about to have a serious problem with that addiction or that gambling, for example, and then they cross the line into you're hopelessly addicted. You're a gambling addict. Let it splat. Do yourself a favor. If you're like, some people that do this thing seem like they're doing the same things as me, and they ruin their lives. That's when you know you should let it splat. Knowingly doing harm to your own body. Let it splat. And there's a whole spectrum of things. This covers a broad scope and it's super applicable to all of them. This could be things like eating food that is delicious, but you know is tearing you apart from the inside out. It could be something like setting yourself on fire. It could be ignoring a physical injury. You have a bum ankle and you've had a bum ankle for years, but you continue to play basketball at the local sports of all sorts. Super, super applicable. Let it splat. It covers the whole spectrum. This is really good advice for anybody who struggles with any of those things. And I think that's pretty much the video today. So if you relate to any of these topics, and I think we all do, I tried to pick things that were part of the human experience. I encourage you to let it splat. And as always, I'm accepting topics and inspiration to chat about and do presentations like this. So I might put a link in the description, or maybe it will be on the channel. I don't know. I'll figure out a way. Send me topics. Just put them in the comments. Do the work for me, and then I'll make the video. That's what I'm trying to say.